Today, we'll do the first of many radio website spotlights where we talk to the people who are making it happen with their radio station website.
This is Better Radio Websites, the podcast for radio professionals who want to see their website generate more traffic and revenue. Each week, your host, Jim Sherwood, and his special guests give you time-tested tips and secret tricks to ensure your radio station dominates digital in your market. Here we go.
Hi, it's Jim, and welcome to Better Radio Websites, the podcast that wants to help you get more visitors and the most revenue from your radio station website. Periodically, we want to talk to station owners and digital content directors about the great things happening in their market and with their radio station websites. A lot of folks are doing some great things out there. It's fitting that we kick off the first of these segments with Johnny Boswell. He's the owner of Boswell Media in Kosciuszko, Mississippi. And we kick off this first one with Johnny because Johnny was our very first Skyrocket radio client. We had a chance to catch up with Johnny at the recent annual Mississippi Association of Broadcasters convention in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Man, it's so great to have you on the podcast here.
Well, we go back. What year was it, Jim? 2013, 2014, somewhere around there.
Yeah, the Mississippi Association of Broadcasters had their digital summit up in Tupelo.
Right.
And we sat there, listened to folks not know anything about their radio station website. It was basically if a place for a listen live button, and that's about it. Nobody was selling it. Nobody was making any money with them. And we looked at each other and we're like, somebody's got to help these folks.
That's correct.
And that's when Skyrocket Radio was born.
It was good to be a part of that. And that was, something that I look back upon the Tupelo Radio Summit as something that helped us propel ourselves forward. Mm-hmm. Because we knew that there was a way forward. We knew what the future appeared to look like. But with that, we kind of crystallized the ideas that have made our websites better and Skyrocket Radio a great company that it is today.
Yeah, you have breezynews.com and kicks96news.com in central Mississippi in very small markets.
Right.
How big would you say Kosciuszko and Attala County is?
7,000 in the city. That's the primary city, Kosciuszko. 20,000 in the county.
So, but with your website, how many visitors are you pulling in roughly each day?
Average, you probably know that more than I do, but I'm going to say 15 to 20,000. Does that sound about right?
That does sound about right. I've seen numbers higher than 20,000 at some times.
Yeah, well, you can see numbers higher than 20,000, but I think if you're sitting up there cruising even at 10 to 15,000, you're doing pretty darn good.
Well, especially in a market that size.
Well, and what I tell the circulation of the weekly newspaper is roughly 4,000 to 5,000. Mm-hmm. So, we're easily tripling that on a daily average on the website.
That must be very easy to sell because you can go out there to somebody, a client, that say, look, I'm going to put your banner ad in front of up to around 20,000 visitors tomorrow.
Well, I think a lot of people get it. And one of the things that's confused that a little bit is, Facebook and social media and stuff like that. But there's a way very simple way to let that banner click to their social media presence. Mm-hmm. Because I think for a lot of these small businesses, maybe the Facebook has replaced the website they wish they had once had. So, we have used that to help them propel even their social media presence or their website presence if they have one.
Sure. And tell the folks out there who are listening out of state and out of market, tell them a little bit about the kind of content that Breezy News puts out every day.
You want me to tell the story?
Yeah, please. I'm setting you up here.
Well, yeah, okay. For most folks, I grew up on a radio station. My father was manager of the local radio station, and it was an AM only, daytime only radio station. But he got up every morning and he said, what type of news, entertainment, and information do the people of this county need today? And he gave them that. So if you roll forward 40, 50 years, you find out that we have 3 FM stations. We have streams for all those stations. We have apps for all those stations. We've got 2 great websites, and we do even a lot of video sportscasts and all that stuff. But unless we get up every morning and ask ourselves that same question, what type of news, entertainment, and information do the people of this county need today? It's all for naught.
Sure.
So my challenge to broadcasters is, has it really changed? I mean, the way of dissemination has changed, but what we're in is a content business, Jim.
Absolutely.
And if we don't give them every day, no matter what type of medium we're on, the news, entertainment, and information that they need and want today, we don't have a product.
Oh, sure. Sure. And I had some other folks here at the convention were saying, if you're in radio to play the audio game, then you're basically lost. It's got to be great content that you're out there and you're promoting and you're delivering.
One of the ways that I've always described that is your format. Format's important. You find a niche format. Well, I look at a format a lot like I look at going out and buying a Christmas tree. You can buy a Scotch pine, you can buy a spruce, you can go out and cut your own cedar tree down, right? But what really makes a Christmas tree? The ornaments, the decorations. It's all about what you're going to put on it. So I think that's the same with any music format. The magic, in particular for us radio broadcasters, is the stuff that happens in between the song.
Right.
And so that's content, right? Mm-hmm. So that content is the same thing that makes the magic on the website.
Sure. And, I think that eventually the radio is going to see a much bigger resurgence because of podcasting. Podcasting is all about content. You can't put music on a podcast for copyright issues and that sort of thing, but you're filling it full of what you hear right here. What would be said in between the songs? This is the kind of content that folks are out there doing. And I think that that's why the folks that bring more content to their radio station on air and online, they're going to win in the end, so to say.
I think you're absolutely correct, because the big mistake, you could look at a market like mine in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, and you say, well, if I'm going to make it in the podcast game, I need to be talking about what Tom Brady said last night, or, what went on Saturday Night Live or something like that, if I'm really going to have a big brand across a broad area. But if you actually did Google Analytics on our website, you would think, well, everybody that you're talking to is in your home county, Attala County, Mississippi. You know what? If you looked, you would see hot spots in Dallas, Atlanta, Houston. You said, how does that happen? You know how many people are from Attala County, Mississippi, and have moved other places, including Oprah Winfrey, I might add.
That's right.
Up in Chicago is from Attala County. But a lot of people that have interest in our county but live in other places or have family there, and they know that that's what we're going to talk about. So that makes it unique. Mm-hmm. And that's what actually drives the content. If you actually go out there and you talk about the broader and the bigger stories, you've got competition everywhere.
Everywhere, that's right.
But if you're telling them what the head cheerleader said about the big fundraiser they're doing on the square this afternoon, that's where the magic is.
Sure, exactly. Now you have this really big voice with all of these visitors per day or whatever. There's going to be some folks who are listening to this saying you must have a dozen people producing content for your website.
And a lot of people ask me that question. That is not true. And I can rewind the tape just a little bit, and one reason why I want to rewind the tape is to take you back where we were when we started, because we were still using tape, right? Mm-hmm. For those of you that know what tape is. You would go on the air as a DJ, and you would have liner cards, or you would have something that you would write up and hold in your hand, and you'd talk about the cheerleader and mm-hmm. their sponsor and the people that were giving away things down on the square this afternoon. And at the end of your shift, you either put that in a file if you were lucky, or most of the time it wound up in a file called 13 in the garbage can, right?
Right.
So that's where the light bulb kind of went off in my head. I said, well, since they're going to be doing this every day this week at noon on the square, I think people would like to know about that. So what if, when I type that up and print it out to send it to the control room, what if I hit another button that's says post and it goes to the website? Mm-hmm. I think people will look at that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's actually where the content comes from. It comes from the same content that any good radio station asking themselves the question, what type of news, entertainment, and information do these people need and want today, and that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
It's not additional people, and since we've grown over the years, and we've been doing this quite a long time now, we do have people that are one person that is dedicated to it, but mostly I want it to be a mirror to what is happening inside that control room. And not only is that a mirror, but I think it's also where the magic of it comes from, because the radio station is promoting the website. And then as the website grows, guess what the website is doing? Oh, if I want to hear this stuff live, I turn on the radio, right?
That's right. Yeah, because if you miss a little piece of something on air, you should be able to find it on the station website at some point.
Absolutely. And I told my guys, I said, oh, okay, you've been promoting that you're going to give away the ultimate weekend in Jackson, Mississippi on one of our stations. And they're going to get to go to a Christmas carol, and they're going to stay at a luxurious hotel and eat at a great restaurant. And you've called the winner of this up, and they're so ecstatic, right? So you put that on the website. And guess what the winner does? All their social media accounts. Oh, go to breezynews.com because I was a big winner, and you can listen to me there, and you can hear me scream on the radio and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we always tell folks, to post it on the website first, and then get it out, and then share it out there to bring people back to the website to it, because that's where you're making your money.
And that's a good point. And back in I don't know. Facebook began in what year? What are we saying? 06?
Yeah, might as well say, yeah.
06, somewhere around there. Somewhere around 09, 2010 or something. I had a friend of mine that was a sort of a digital guru out in Fredericksburg, Texas. And he said, Johnny, you really got to make this the year that you learn how to make social media work for your company, because it's here to stay. Well, he was right. You have to figure that out. And so I told him about what I did with my websites and all this stuff. And in the end, this is what we came up with. Social media is a doorway, okay? And he says, what do you want that door to open to? Well, I had a lot of local businesses that were saying, well, I want that to open my front door of my store, and I want to put on there that I'm selling T-shirts for half price, and I want them to open the door of my store. And I was seeing that beginning to happen, even, back in 2010, let's say. But to me, he says, well, I need that door to open to something I can make money on. He said, okay, where are you going to make that money? I said, on my website. So we use social media. We don't put everything on there. There was an attempted robbery overnight, and the link to the story on breezynews.com. Okay?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how it should work.
The thing about social media that I think particular radio stations have done, they have cannibalized themselves. It's like they've given away all the answers before they gave the test or something.
Right. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, it should always come back to the properties that you own.
You in your seminar, I forget, you had another way of saying that. Of
the properties that you rent, pointing back to the properties you own.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Johnny, you're doing a fantastic job up there. I appreciate your friendship and so many years of we've been doing this together. I'm glad to partner with you in your website. I hope it lasts forever.
Well, yeah, it's been a good ride. Or sometime I always describe it to Jim when I talk on the phone. I said, I feel like there's a lake out there, and you and I are in this boat together.
That's right. We are definitely in it together. Johnny, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and great seeing you here at the Mississippi Association of Broadcasters.
Thanks for having me on.
Be sure to check out Johnny's websites at breezynews.com, kicks96news.com, and boswellmedia.net. We'll have links to these in the show notes. Have an awesome week online making your radio station website better. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Better Radio Websites. Inspired by today's episode? Be sure you are subscribed and share this episode with a friend. Visit skyrocketradio.com/podcasts for more episodes as well as show notes for this episode. Need help starting or making your station website better? Visit skyrocketradio.com.